Hi, and welcome to another episode of Gary Talks. Today I'm going to talk about the albums I'm most looking forward to in 2024.
Gary Talks Music. Gary Talks Music. Gary Talks Music.
2023 was not a great year for music. It was fine. There were albums I liked, but there were others that were just okay that ended up making my top 10 list. So I'm hopeful 2024 is a much better year. The thing is, at this point in the year, we don't know who's releasing albums later in the year. We've got releases for stuff coming out in maybe the first couple months, but maybe March. So pretty much this is the albums I'm looking forward to coming out by spring. I may have to make another one of these once albums are announced for later in the year. There could be a Ghost album, there could be new Anthrax, there could be a lot of great albums coming out. But right now, they're working on them, they haven't been announced, so what can you do? The album that has been announced that I'm most looking forward to is coming out in just a few weeks, and that is Green Day with Saviors. I've been a huge Green Day fan since Dookie came out my freshman year of college. They had a solid run of good to great records all the way through 21st Century Breakdown. Then came the Uno, Dos, Tre, 3 albums trilogy, and there was at least one really good album of killer material between the 3. The 2 albums that were released since just didn't grab me, but based on the first singles released from Saviors, I hope they are back in their top form. This next album for me is a day one purchase. Maybe not because it's going to be great, but because I am loyal. I am a member of the KISS Army, and I can't wait for Ace Frehley's 10,000 Volts. I'm losing sleep every night and day. Ace has only had one album of original material in the past decade, and as much as I liked his 2 albums of cover songs, it'll be incredible to finally hear all new stuff. Ace has never had the strongest voice, and the first single is just kind of there, but all that being said, Ace Frehley is still Ace Frehley. He can release an album just calling people curly and saying "ah," and I'd have that spinning on my record player day and night. Let's go from a band that I'm very loyal to one that has slowly started to fade away from being one of my favorites thanks to horrible live performances, and that band is Motley Crue. I've seen them probably 6 or 7 times, and I've seen Vince Neil a few times on his own as well, and it's just not there. It's sad. I mean, it's one of those times where you just kind of want them to actually really stop touring, to leave the memories alone. There's been this whole hubbub about them firing Mick Mars quitting, being forced out, we're not sure. But Mick is coming out with his first solo album. I'm really excited to hear it, and it's called The Other Side of Mars. I really don't know what to expect out of The Other Side of Mars. We don't know how much Mick influenced the songs of Motley Crue. I imagine Nikki Sixx knew what he wanted and that's what Motley recorded. So maybe we'll finally get to truly appreciate what Mick brings to the table. And hopefully it'll be a standout album. So if Motley Crue is one of those bands that I loved back in the day that just can't quite cut it anymore, we're now going to deal with a band that is just as strong as they've been in the past 20 years. Sure, their stuff isn't as great as their output from the 70s and 80s, but at this point in their career, they continue to be heavy and rock it, and I can't wait for the new Judas Priest, Invincible Shield. Invincible Shield will be Judas Priest's 19th studio album, which seems like a lot, until you remember they've been around for 55 years. The band says they'll be continuing the sound of 2018's Firepower, and that is 100% okay by me. That was a killer metal record, and I'm assuming this will be just as heavy. I can't wait. From a band that might be around forever to a band who says they're calling it quits, Sum 41 with Heaven and Hell. I can't help but walk through your landmines. Heaven and Hell is going to be a double album split into Hell and Heaven. Clever. The Heaven portion will be pop-punk like old Sum 41, and the Hell portion will be more rock and metal like their more recent albums. I enjoy their old pop-punk stuff, but I've really liked the later, more rock albums, so I'm truly looking forward to this project. And if it is the end for Sum 41, then I hope they go out with a bang. The final album that I can't wait to spin on my record player is Bruce Dickinson, The Mandrake Project. I don't know what to expect out of the Mandrake Project. The first single, The Afterglow of Ragnarok, is an epic metal journey, and I'm going to assume it's just a taste of what Bruce Dickinson has up his sleeve. It seems more experimental than Iron Maiden, and with this being a concept album telling, well, I don't know what the hell the story is going to be, but I'm sure it'll be unforgettable. So yeah, only 6 albums, not a ton. Couldn't do a top 10, there just weren't that many I'm excited to hear. As I said, hopefully more are announced and that this year is a banner year for rock and roll. See you next time when we talk about the TV shows I'm most excited to see in 2024.
Gary Talks Music. Gary Talks Music. Gary Talks Music.